What's up, gang? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Janique. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for trusting me with your content. I appreciate you so much. However, if this is your first time joining me, make sure you lock into my channel by clicking on that subscribe button and also click on the notification bell. That way you don't miss an episode of anything that I do here. Today, we're going to be talking about preparing to be a wife. So if you're interested in hearing more about that, make sure you stick around until the end of the video. Let's go ahead and hop into it.
I look like money, grab the camera, I'll say cheese. What am I supposed to do? When my life look like my pictures do. What? He still ain't posted you. Come let me show you what you supposed to do. Go, bounce up on that dude. Go show these niggas they can't F with you. Look what you made me do. I gotta show you how real I'm.
Now, I know a lot of women desire to marry one day. And I know there's some out there that don't really care too much about marriage, or so they say. And if you are one of those, this video is probably not for you, but make sure you check out my next video, which will be dedicated to people who are not interested really in the marriage journey. But for those who are, I want to kind of talk to you about what you should be doing today. Now, when you pray for something, you never know when the prayer is going to be granted by God. All you can do is pray, keep the faith, and then wait for it to come to fruition. So if you're praying to God for a husband, you're not alone. But again, this video is going to be dedicated to you. Now, with not knowing when your prayer will be answered, it's going to be the same when it comes to praying for a man. You never know when God will send you your husband, so you just have to be patient until that time comes for you. But you have to be prepared to accept the blessing when you get the blessing. A lot of people pray for things that they aren't ready for, and then when the blessing shows up, unfortunately, they don't have the tools needed to keep the blessing, and they end up losing the blessing. And I don't want you to be one of those people. So when I say prepare to be a wife, I mean get the tools you need in order to keep the man you pray for once you get it, right? Now, how do you prepare? You prepare a few ways. So the first way you're going to prepare is by investing in yourself. So if you have an idea on what you want your partner to look like, how you want your partner to be, what kind of profession you want them to be in, what kind of characteristics you want them to have, what long-term goals do you want to accomplish with this partner, what short-term goals do you want to accomplish with this partner, where do you want them to be from, do you want them to have a big family or small family, and the list goes on and on and on. Now, be mindful when you make this list, you prepare by being equally yoked to what you're asking for. For example, if you're asking for a man who is kind to you, right? But you yourself aren't too kind. You don't have the best way with words. You offend men very easily. You don't know how to talk to a man. You're going to spend your time preparing for the spouse you want. So you're going to change those characteristics around. How do you do that? You tune into my channel. You tune into TikTok. You tune into other creators who are set on making sure that you're prepared for what you pray for. But you're going to make sure that you're equally yoked to whatever is listed on your list. So when I talk about investing in yourself, you're going to invest a few things. Of course, you're going to invest your energy back in yourself. That means that you're not going to be entertaining men who have shown you that they are not your husband. Now, some of the men that have fallen into this category are failed talking stages, failed situationships, failed relationships, and people who it just won't work with. You know it won't work. There's a lot of things that tell you won't work. Like, for instance, they're married. If they're married already, how are they going to commit to you? They can't. They can't. Get it through your head. Understand? So invest your energy back into yourself. Don't entertain people just because you're bored. Okay? You need to be okay with being alone. Okay? So you're going to spend time with getting to know yourself, seeing what you like and what you dislike. How can you mold yourself so you can be the best partner possible? That way when your husband shows up, He won't want to leave you. He know there's nothing else out there in those streets, and you are the best thing since sliced bread. That's how you have to invest your energy into yourself, okay? You're going to invest your time into yourself as well. So take time to work on yourself, right? Take time to work on your physical fitness. For instance, you're not going to be asking for a man who's in shape when you aren't in shape yourself. If you look down at yourself like, oh my God, I'm not in shape. Okay, that's fine because your husband has not arrived yet, so you still have time to prepare. You understand? You're going to spend time with God. You're going to spend time listing out likes and dislikes, listing out short and long-term goals. You're going to spend time journaling. You're going to spend time clearing your mind. You're going to spend time healing yourself from all those childhood traumas, from all those failed relationships, from all those times you were hurt by people who you didn't hurt first. You're going to spend that time with yourself. Put it back into yourself. Don't put it back into other people, especially those who are not your husband. In my last video, I talked about how do you know if someone is the one for you or not. So I'll make sure to tag that as well. So be sure to check that out if you haven't watched that one first. But you're also going to invest your resources into yourself as well. So say, for instance, you're looking for a man who likes women who are accomplished, right? Who likes women who are educated, who likes women who have their own career going on. That means you will have something going on if that's the type of man you're looking for. But if you're looking for a type of man who doesn't really care what a woman does for a living, you're not alone. That's my type too. But if you're looking for that type of man, you're going to invest your resources into yourself by doing other things. Say, for instance, a gym membership is $20, right? Instead of spending that $20 to go to the club and hang out with a bunch of men who you know are not the man for you, who you know are not your husband, take that $20 you're going to spend and put it towards a gym membership. That way you invest in yourself. You've always wanted to be a real estate agent. You've always wanted to be a cosmetologist. You've always wanted to do this. You've always wanted to do that. You've always wanted to wear this. You've always wanted to travel. You've always wanted to live in this place. You've always wanted to wear these types of things. Anything like that, you're going to invest that into yourself, because if you don't have a man, you have to be your own man, okay? You have to date yourself, court yourself. You have to treat yourself to nice things, because at the end of the day, if you're not willing to do these types of things for yourself, you won't be able to find a man to do them for you, okay? So prepare yourself in those types of ways. You're going to also prepare by saving space for your husband. How do you save space for your husband? By not putting a person who isn't your husband in that space. Okay, so in that bed space that you're saving for your husband, in that nice bed that you're in that nice home that you're in, if you want your husband to come in, you're not going to have another person occupying that space. Because if they're there, how is there room for your husband to come on in? If somebody who clearly ain't your husband is spending all this time in your house, in your car, in your head, how's your husband gonna be able to occupy that space? How's your husband gonna be able to come in and find you? He won't be able to. That ex or that person you're entertaining who is clearly not your husband will be blocking out your energy. They'll be sending out messages spiritually saying that you are not available. You won't even be able to take advantage of the blessing when it shows up if you are not saving the space for it, okay? Do not entertain anybody who is not husband material. If you want a man who is a provider, you're not going to date men who are not interested in being providers. You catch my drift? If you want to be married to a man who is romantic, you're not going to be out here dealing with men who have no sense of romance. All right, so let's just recap a little. After you pray for your husband, you're going to wait on your husband. You're going to spend your time waiting by investing your time, energy, and resources back into yourself. While you're investing in yourself and being patient by waiting on your husband, you're going to save space for your husband by not entertaining anything that is not your husband during your waiting period, okay? And last but not least, you're not going to give up hope. You're going to believe God for exactly what he promised you. And that comes along with keeping the faith that God will grant your prayer requests. Okay? But you're not going to be able to get what you pray for if you're not aligned with it. You be trying to figure out, why is God taking so long to send the man you pray for? But look at the kind of space that you're in. Take inventory of what you do on a day-to-day basis. Are you still entertaining people who you know are not your husband? Are you still spending time in places looking for men when you haven't found no type of good man in those places before? We be in places that God did not tell us to go, looking for people who God did not tell us to meet. Then we let them into our life and they do us wrong. And then we be looking crazy when we got to take all this time and heal when we shouldn't have engaged with it in the first place. Okay, so avoid these lessons. Okay, people come in different shapes, different sizes, but please don't be deceived. These people are carrying and harboring the same spirits. Okay, so spot these spirits out. You ever heard the term new level, same devils? That just means that there will be counterfeits along the way. The devil will be able to disguise himself, but at the end of the day, the devil is the devil. The devil is the devil. The game still stays the same, okay? Focus on yourself. Focus on the prayer. Focus on God. Be in the space to receive. If you stay ready, you do not have to get ready for what you prayed for, okay? You can also prepare to be a wife by doing things that we know men like, okay? Men like to feel needed, okay? So spend some time with yourself, reminding yourself that you are worthy of receiving. You are worthy of receiving good things. Not only that, you are willing to receive good things, okay? A lot of people, women especially, they've been done so wrong and have been told no so many times that when it's time to get something that they actually deserve, they're scared to go through with it. They're scared to take it. They don't want to take it. Even something as little as a compliment. Some women have problems taking compliments. So again, be open to receiving. Prepare yourself to be open to receiving. Okay, you can do that through affirmations. Learn how to cook. There is nothing wrong with cooking for a man. Do not be deceived, okay? The same woman that tell you not to cook for your man be the same woman that's low-key, middle of the night cooking for theirs. I promise you. Don't listen to what anyone else says. Get in the word and listen to what God says about being a wife, about getting a husband, about a marriage. That's what you need to be doing. Go read Proverbs 31. That's another way to prepare yourself. See what a woman of God really is, because low-key, that's what men are looking for. They don't know that they're looking for it until they get it. But that's how it is with all good things, right? That's how I am. Nobody knows they need me until they get me. Then they realize, oh my God, I've needed you all along. Where have you been all my life? That's how you want to be in a person's life, I promise you, okay? So take some cooking lessons. Buy a cookbook. Buy cookware. Change up your appearance, okay? Become more modest. Men love that. It leaves so much to the imagination. Okay? It gives them something to work towards. It gives them a quest almost. Like they're interested in seeing what nobody else sees. Men love that. Prepare yourself by learning about God. Men love new things. Out of 10 women that they meet, how many do you think are talking about God? Maybe 1, maybe 2, if that. Stand out. You have to stand out. Get rid of things your exes gave you. You know, now, I've got some nice things from my exes, I'm not going to lie. But there are certain things you want to get rid of. Say, for instance, if you got his boxers laying around, his t-shirts, his shoes. I mean, there's all kind of things that men leave with you that we keep. Not understanding that we'll never be in that relationship again. We're not the person that we used to be. It doesn't serve us, so there's no reason to go back to that situation. So get rid of the stuff. Clean out your camera roll. I had a hard time with this when I first got with my man, because I have like 29,000 pictures. So I just have pictures from years and years and years of failed talking stages, failed relationships, you know, exes and things like that. And you know, my man, he had to tell me, you need to delete that stuff in your phone. Like, it's over for them guys. Like, they ain't never getting a chance again. Like, so clean out your camera roll. That's not something you want somebody to see. I had dated somebody before my man, and a video had came up that I really didn't want to see, and then that started a whole conversation. So you want to kind of avoid being perceived in certain lights by new people if you can. And you avoid that by preparing your camera roll. So make sure you go ahead and clean that out. If you're not with the person no more, delete the picture. They're old news. Delete it. Delete it. If they're not in your life now, they don't deserve to be in your life in the future, okay? Period. I already told you guys several times about working out. Men love women that look good, period. Once you get with him, let yourself go a little bit. Let yourself go. But when you are single, you need to be looking like that girl, okay? Period. Like, you need to be, they need to be pressed to be with you, like, but it should always be a choice to be single, okay? I don't want you to think it's a burden to be single, it's a curse or anything like that. It's a blessing, honestly, because you get to focus solely on yourself if you choose to. And I'm telling you to choose to do that. Prepare your friend group, right? You need to start setting boundaries with the friends that you have in your life, okay? If your friend is always in your relationship business, they be reaching out to your partner sometimes, crossing boundaries, bringing up old things in front of your new partners and stuff like that. Set those boundaries with those friends, because I'm telling you right now, no man likes a woman who has their friends all in their business. Period, point blank. So if you run and tell your friend everything, you're not ready for marriage. Period, point blank. Because a real marriage is going to be full of secrets. And I mean secrets between the man and the wife. They're going to be keeping all their business to themselves. They're not going to be telling outside parties, because they know that even though you forgive, they don't forgive so easily, okay? It takes years and years for your family and friends to get over things when you be over it in an hour, but you done ran your mouth to them and now they hate your partner. So again, prepare your friend group, okay? You need to be watching out for women who want you to stay single right along with them. You will have some friends around you that will sabotage every relationship that you have, because they want you to either be secretly single with them or they secretly want to be with you. Either way, it's a problem and it's not aligned for what you're wanting. Because if you wanted something different, you wouldn't be watching this video all the way to the time that you're watching it right now. Thank you for staying with me, by the way. Now, the last thing I'm going to say about preparedness, make sure you prepare your, you know what? Put that thing on ice. On ice. If you haven't done it yet, don't do it at all. But if you have already started doing it, it's okay. Give yourself some grace, but put it on ice and wait for your husband. If a man has no intentions of marrying you, then he should not be inside of your body. He shouldn't be able to occupy your body at all. He shouldn't be able to visit. He shouldn't be able to rent it out or lease it for a little bit. He shouldn't be able to reserve it for a little party. None of that. Do not share your body with a man who is not your husband. If he ain't talking about marriage, I don't want to hear none of that bedroom talk. A man won't even invite you out for a date, but he want to invite you to the bedroom. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. A man won't discuss his feelings with you, and he won't hear you out about your feelings, but he want to hear your moans and your screams in the bedroom. Make it make sense. A man won't touch your heart, and he won't let you touch his, but he'll touch you in the bedroom. He want you to touch him in the bedroom. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. A man won't call you to ask you how your day was, but he'll call you to ask you to meet you in the bedroom. Make it make sense. I could go on and on all day, but I think you guys get my drift. Now, normally I know I have a couple of scriptures for y'all, but today I just really have a story that I want to kind of read to you guys from the Bible. If nothing else in this video told you to be prepared for your man, the one that you prayed for, your husband, your partner for life, if nothing else I said in this video makes you want to prepare, I know this story will. Now, I'm coming from Matthew chapter 25, verses 1 through 13, and it says, "At that time, the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish and 5 were wise. The foolish ones took their lamps, but did not take any oil with them. The wise ones, however, took oil in jars along with their lamps. The bridegroom was a long time in coming, and they all became drowsy and fell asleep. At midnight the cry rang out, 'Here's the bridegroom, come out to meet him.' Then all the virgins woke up and trimmed their lamps. The foolish ones said to the wise, 'Give us some of your oil. Our lamps are going out.' 'No,' they replied, 'there may not be enough for both of us and you. Instead, go to those who sell oil and buy some for yourselves.' But while they were on their way to buy the oil, the bridegroom arrived. The virgins who were ready went in with him to the wedding banquet, and the door was shut. Later the others also came. Lord, Lord, they say, open the door for us. But he replied, truly I tell you, I don't know you. Therefore keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour. So it said 10 virgins were waiting on their bridegroom. Waiting on them. They didn't know when he was going to come. They got tired and fell asleep. And when he showed up, those who were prepared were able to move forward, right? But those who were unprepared had to take a detour and delay them getting with the bridegroom, them meeting and being with the bridegroom, because they were unprepared. They even tried to ask the ones that were prepared to help them out in their unpreparedness. They wanted to take away some of their preparedness. They wanted to make them look bad as they already look bad. Come on. No, no, no. The ones who are prepared for their husband when their husband arrives will be able to go into the wedding banquet with him. But those who are not prepared for their husband when he arrives will miss him. Okay? And it says here, therefore keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour. The only thing you need to know is that he's on his way. I hope you got something from my message today. If you did, make sure you check out some of my other messages, and I will see you in the next video. Janique here, Janique TV. Peace.